Hey everyone, I'm McDowell here with another YouTube video. And today I'm going to show you the one video you've probably been waiting for, and that is kicking. Yeah, the one thing that makes martial arts probably the best is actually kicking. Now I have said before that you have learned how to kick before from being born and all that. And ladies, I know you know how to kick a man real well. Just go right up between his legs and put his manhood in a vice, or just take him away, or just drive him up to the moon. But don't do it intentionally, of course. Anyways, kicking has been probably the second most effective technique in martial arts, in all kinds of martial arts. When it comes from either from self-defense or from going and competing in tournaments and such like that, kicking is probably the best thing that martial arts are known for. Now, I'm going to show you the four basic ways of kicking, the four basic kicks. And I'm going to show you exactly how they actually are, basically how to perform. Now, whether it's technique or power, that's up to you what you want to do. But we all start out from stationary position, static position, just to show how effective they are. Now, of course, in real life, your opponent ain't going to just stand there and let you kick them. They're going to keep moving, so conditioning is everything. Now, of course, you're going to see my kicks are going to be a little bit slower, a little bit lower, and that's because I've been trying to get myself back into shape. And that's what happens when life hits you. It basically hits you where you take some time off, and you tend to lose the conditioning of all of it. It happens to everyone. So it's not just me, it's to everyone. So therefore, if you're first learning how to kick, congratulations. If you already know how to kick, good for you. We all want to try to get that whole warrior mentality, saying we can actually do it. So it's all about how to pick yourself up, get back in training again, and try to get your techniques all in polished condition. So today are the four basic ways of kicks, and as always, kids, do not try this at home without adult supervision. And parents, be sure to know exactly what your kids are watching. What's going to happen here today are me just demonstrating kicking, which can actually cause damage, and also not only to myself, but could actually cause damage to someone else if someone was here. So that's why I'm aware of the risks. I've been doing it for years and trying to get back into it. So without all that being said, let's get started. Okay, here we go. All right. First kick I want to show you basically is the front kick. Now, whenever you do a kick off the lead leg, you got your lead leg and you got your trail leg or your back leg. The front leg is always going to be like the jab to the punch. Whenever you punch, it's always off the lead hand. So, the front kick, the way how it goes, leg comes up, knee comes up, and wherever your knee points, that's where your kick's going to be. So I'm going to start out low here. Now what I'm doing is that I'm kicking, and I'm basically kicking with the top of my foot. Either with the ball of your foot or the whole sole of your foot. Now remember, the very first kick is mostly just like a jab, just get them off, like that. So, it's basically just keep them off you. Now the thing is, if you want to have some power with this kick, you always want to go with the ball of your foot like this. So, and you mostly will see some people, when they kick, they got the toes down. That's a great way to lose your toes. Because if you're kicking with something solid, especially when you're wearing shoes, you're going to break them. So just keep that in mind. Not sure it's good for groin kicking, but I like to kick. I like to kick with my ball of my toes if I want to kick low. So always keep your toes up when you're doing the front kick. So the second kick is the side kick. Now when it comes off the lead leg, the one thing you always see Bruce Lee, when he always do his kicks, he always try to use the crossover step. But here's how the side kick should be without no step. Now the thing is, when you bring your leg up, you're basically turning to the side and you're going forward with it. So going forward, you're just going forward with it. Now when Bruce Lee does it, he basically does it with a crossover step, or sometimes with a skip and skip step. Now the problem with the skip and step is that when you go like this, it's very easily to get off balance. And remember, you got one leg up, and put all your balance on one leg. So it should be, when you got all your balance, that especially when it comes to the lead leg, you got same percent balance here, 30% balance here. So it kind of equals out, but not as much. But getting back to the Bruce Lee kick, then when he does a crossover, that's the power. That's the power right there. Because the side kick from just standing, not much power. As I said, the lead kick is always going to be like the jab. Okay? Crossover kick is going to be like the power. Just like that, a lot of power. So side kick, remember, you got your leg up, you turn it over, and wherever your knee goes, that's where your foot's gonna go. I want to keep my knee up, your foot will go higher and higher, okay? But if you're first practicing low. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or not. If you're trying to get back into it, practice low. So, that's just the lead leg. Now, roundhouse, the one kick that Taekwondo is known for is the roundhouse. Well, they're known for all different other kicks, but the roundhouse is their pride and joy. The round kick, you bring your leg up, turn your hip over, turn your knee over, and when I'm kicking with the top of my foot. So it's basically this part of my foot. If you're going to kick like with shoes, it's basically the shoelace. So, bring my knee up, kick on top of my foot. And like I said, Taekwondo love these kicks. But that's the one thing they're good for, is just the kicks. You don't see a lot of punching going on in Taekwondo. That's why it's always good to know more than one style. That's more efficient than just one technique, just one style fighting. Taekwondo, mostly all kicks. So, lead roundhouse, not much power to it. So the one thing where the power comes from, when it comes from the roundhouse, is usually off the trail leg or the back leg. So if you can't see this, what I'm doing, I'm taking my front leg, I'm doing like a cheese step. And most people, when they do a cheese step, that's when they get all the torque. And that's what the roundhouse is mostly good for, mostly for the torque. Now, of course, you see a lot of different martial artists. They like to go different ways of the kicking. That's all great. That's their point of view. So, if you go for a different point of view of roundhouse kicking, that's okay. So, the way how I do it is always a chief step. Always do the chief step and get the knee up, and you turn the whole hip over. That's how you get the power. So it's all about twerking the whole foot and the whole leg and the whole body. It's kind of like I said. Well, the lead leg is basically the jab. The back leg is basically the hook. Just the same way. Same principle. Hip, leg, foot, hip, shoulder, or in this leg, when it comes to the leg, it's foot, knee, hip, back, all four. Because they think that it's all about the back. They think it's all about the leg. It's not. It's the back and the butt muscles. That's how you achieve the entire power to it. Now let's see about a trail leg. Trail leg side kick. So, G-step. G-step. Excuse me. So, G-step. And with the side kick, I'm kicking with the top of my foot and over the ball of my foot. So I'm coming in all the way through. Power all the way through. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, put more water in this. Okay. Okay, now trail leg set front kick. Front snap, I should say. So, knee. Like I said, you're bringing the knee up and going forward with it. Because in most traditional martial arts, you go like this, like punch, kick, back. That's for defense. If you want to be offensive, you go forward. In real life, you go forward. You go forward. Boom, boom. Yeah. In real life, you go forward. Because in every time when you go back, you're off balance. That's usually with just one opponent. He'll overpower you, you gotta be able to go forward to try to get rid of that aggression. So, always go forward, always put your foot down every time you do out the back leg. So even the same in the round kick. Always put your foot down and follow through. So that's just the first three basic kicks. The last one is the back kick. I'm gonna put this down. So the back kick, I hate the back kick. The back kick is where you're the most vulnerable because you can't see nothing. That's why whenever you do a technique where your back is facing your opponent, which you shouldn't be, have your opponent behind you, you must always look first. It could be your family, it could be a friend. Now you don't want to kick those. Trust me, it could be a bad Thanksgiving dinner. So whenever you have someone tap you on your shoulder or pushes you, always look first. And if they're attacking, that's when you strike. Punch, elbow, kick, it don't matter. Always look first before you do any attack. So, I got my hands up, I look behind me, bring my leg up, and I basically drive. This is what's called a back kick, where some call it a mule kick. It's like getting kicked by a horse. And you're driving back through. So my hands are up, look first. And I keep my knee up, get my knee up, and then drive through. Same thing with the other leg. So knee up, back through. Now remember what I said about stepping forward? Excuse me, that was a misstep. So, look. Always step forward and adjust. So sometimes when you adjust, both hands are up. So, that was the 4 basic ways of kicking. And whenever you start, you always start out low. So if you want to kick, always start out low. Get the maneuver of learning actually kicking something. Now remember, the more higher you go up, the more balance you're going to have to worry about. So in kicking, balance is key. So, those were the 4 basic ways of kicking. Be sure that when you practice this, you practice slow and low so you can build the conditioning and the flexibility to go higher and higher. And for all that being said, I'll see you in the next video. This is Alan McDowell, signing off.